We're all set. We're operating. Well. Guess what? We have a relevant guest, which is rare. I asked Dan. He's from Chicago. When the Cubs won the World Series, got a couple of Cubs because he claims to know them. Nothing. They won't even return our calls. But you are relevant now because you're always relevant to me. But you predicted on the Bill Maher show. What did you say? You said you'd win the nomination like a year and a half ago. What did you say?
I think that's what the question was. It was 2 days after Trump announced, and
Right.
The question was, I don't know who had the best chance of winning. I don't know if it was the nomination or the election, but from pretty soon after he announced.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually that soon. I still was waiting for him to back down 2 days later. It took me a week or two to see, oh, my gosh, this lunatic is not going to back down. He's my man.
He didn't back down. He didn't back down to the liberal, like we're in your face, we're threatening you with, we'll call you this and that, and we'll ruin your career, blah, blah, blah. He didn't care.
Yeah, and he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's like, let's face it, I mean, that's a haircut.
Still, most people would not have.
No,
I mean, look, all of them. We've seen Republicans do it so many times, and then whenever it was, a week or two later, when he didn't back down with just nonstop universal hysteria over the Mexican rapist speech, the one that won my heart.
Right.
From then straight through, and it didn't matter, even the Access Hollywood tape, not attacking John McCain, not the allegation false that he had mocked a disabled reporter. From that moment on, I said 90% nomination, 60% the election.
Right. Well, absolutely. I'm telling you. First of all, I'll tell you what. The only thing he did. That I mean, I don't think I've ever been offended by anything. These pussy men who go to comedy clubs nowadays, I want to strangle them. 25-year-old men get offended by something I say. I'm like, I'm trying to think. When I was 25, I'm trying to think what a comedian would have had to do. He would have had to be beating my mother up on stage. and even then, I'd go, you know what? When I finish my wings, I'll say something. I mean, like, what would they go, with their girlfriends? What are you going, for, you pussy? What did I say? You're offended by that? You're personal friends with Todd Bridges? You know Todd Bridges?
No.
The black kid from Different Strokes who became a drug addict.
Oh, so you have a set making fun of a drug addict. Okay.
No. Basically, it's goofing on his name. I say I burned all the bridges you can burn. And one time at a crack den, I accidentally burned Todd Bridges.
I like that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work with Lloyd Bridges, but you know. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to get racial. I go, oh, shut up.
No, the new thing. Not even that new. I describe it in my book, Guilty. The rule in America is he who is offended first wins.
Yeah, I know. And they make a big deal now with Twitter. Forget about it. Because I used to, when that fat guy who was selling cigarettes got strangled and died in Staten Island, and he said, "I can't breathe." That was a big thing. I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I had a joke where I said, I got on stage. I said, this slogan is affecting my sex life. I was banging a black chick a couple weeks ago, and right in the middle of sex, she goes, "I can't breathe." And I go, well, can we leave politics out of this? And she goes, no, fat ass, you're on my gut. I can't breathe. And one person, it killed, like rolls of laughter. And one chick was mad at it and asked the guy, MC, who was that guy, and tweeted out this monster said this. And you know what I love about every black comic who was my friend got behind me. Every one of them.
Yeah.
They got behind me and took my wallet. No, they were all on my side. Michael Che was a big deal from Weekend Update on SNL. They all said, "You guys are being ridiculous. It's a joke." That's what I like about you. I like that you're an adult. Republicans tend to act like adults more. I think
Yes, and stop the whining. It's very girly. It really is part of the feminization of America. And there was the first thing you said, when guys in the audience are getting offended.
I
don't think the words "I'm offended" have ever crossed my lips. I'm bored. Yeah, maybe that. But offended? Who cares?
Right, and and judging people, I don't mind. I have to. These young people about you can't judge anybody. You have to let them know there are people in this world who judge you. They're called judges. I've been judged several times, and quite frankly, I'm still looking at 8 months. But it really the feminization is unbelievable. And Dan won't admit it, but this is perfect. Dan wanted this world, and he got it. You're so feminine.
And how do you feel about laundry balls?
I gotta say, I've lived with I live with 3 different broads in this apartment in the last 15 years, and Dan does better laundry than any of them even close. It's unbelievable. So what's your? By the way, I thought of the perfect name, the perfect Trump woman follower, the perfect name. You ready? Kellyanne Coulter.
For a flower?
No, Kellyanne Coulter is the perfect name. For a Trump's woman. Kellyanne Conway. Change the Conway to Coulter. Kellyanne Coulter.
Yeah, I guess.
Are you clearly? That's why I brought her up. You don't like her, do you?
No, I like her a lot.
Oh, I heard rumors.
No, but I don't know that I'd be any more enthusiastic about. I don't know.
I want to bring that up because
Donald Coulter.
Mitt Romney. That's why I bring this up. Do you feel
or
the same
Mitt
way?
Coulter.
Do you feel the same way about him as Kellyanne Hunaway?
No, I like them. I just don't get. I'm not blown away by combining our names. That's the issue.
No, I'm
not the person. What do I think about Mitt Romney? Well, I liked him. He was the best we ever had on immigration, amazingly enough, which was piss poor compared to Trump, who knew that there was an animal like Donald Trump in the universe. But he was very personal in attacking Trump. So I sort of thought at first. That the reason Trump was pretending to consider him for Secretary of State was all just an elaborate gag. And once he interviewed him and shook hands with him on the lawn there, say he doesn't pick him, Romney couldn't attack him again. It would look like sour grapes.
Right.
So it was brilliant how he had checkmated him. But the second meeting kind of made me think, unless Trump is a meaner person than I think, and he actually is a very nice man despite the reputation, I can't imagine sitting and having dinner with a potential Secretary of State, inviting the press in. You're spending hours shooting the breeze with the guy. To turn around and just say, ha-ha, I'm not giving it to you, and now you can't attack me. So I kind of think he's looking at Romney for something. And, by the way, I was trying to get Romney to be his vice president back in 2015.
Well, I know, that would have been...
it would have been a dynamite combo platter, but then Romney has to ruin it.
Right.
In fact, I've been meaning to email him and just say... always trust Coulter.
Well, listen, that's not a bad slogan for when you run. And
yes.
I'm backing that, by the way, you and Romney. Coulter Romney, by the way. That would be great. I think it's about time you're president. Are you going to be offered a position?
Well, I'd rather just that Trump hang on my every word. I don't really need to move to Washington for that.
Yeah, it is a pain. I don't think Trump's going to move to Washington, quite frankly.
I know.
How about this? You ready? How about this? How about the fact that White House is on 5th Avenue and 57th Street? That's not and the Christmas tree lighting. The ripple effect is going to be. We'll feel it in Sea Caucus. The traffic. It's going to be the wait. And if you want to go, by the way, if you have plans and you're driving to a Hamptons party on the 4th of July next year, just leave now. How about make America late again?
You're totally right. I just can't. I just went to see the Rockefeller Christmas tree, and you can barely move.
I know. It's always like that. And there's people taking pictures of the same fucking tree every year.
And they torment us. What is this thing with turning the tree off at midnight? Yeah, that used to be the best time to go see it. You'd go have dinner, wander by 2, 3 in the morning. It was beautiful. No, now they turn it off at midnight. Why? To save energy? There are these solar-powered lights on the tree.
Yeah.
What energy are they saving?
That's not New York either. That's an early night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, float that to Trump. Make America late again with the hats.
I like that. Yeah.
That's not bad. But what do you think of? What do you think of all these people positioning now? It's I
hate them.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Everyone's lighting up, even on CNN. These reporters, with the by the way, the most brilliant PR thing ever, the carrier plant.
I know.
Unbelievable. And to do it before, you know what it's like when Reagan convinced Carter, he had to say in his inauguration speech that the hostages are coming home. Like he just stole that from him. Like now, before he gets in, he's 1,100 jobs in the tank. Boom. Even the CNN people can't say anything bad. They have to hedge it.
As of yesterday, both CNN, I haven't seen much TV since yesterday, but both CNN and MSNBC were desperately, hysterically looking for the dark storm cloud in the silver lining.
It's unbelievable.
It's hilarious.
They're really trying to make trouble. It's so ironic. Like, well, okay, you're being divisive. I've learned so many new words too. Divisive rhetoric. I never knew rhetoric before. Optics. I think Roger Ailes sent out a memo about 11 years ago. Hot broad who could say rhetoric. And all these, it's or optic. That's the other one. Optics.
Well, that's a very popular one right now. It's an odd thing that the expressions that nobody ever used, 5 years ago, and suddenly everybody's saying it. The other one, well, among the other ones they do these days,
right.
And I keep meaning to make a list of cliches that people should be shot for using.
It's definitely rhetoric came in, and then optics was one. And then,
optics very big. They do now instead of just playing a tape. They always say, "Oh, and we'll ask you about it on the other side."
Yeah.
You never heard that 5 years ago.
No, because they're so smooth. They're so smooth. They got to be so really, really calculated. And I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, by the way, and we were taught to be ourselves.
These people are not. They're such bubbleheads, and they all have to use. I'm going to make a list for you and email it to you.
What about this Mad Dog guy you just nominated today?
Well, my Chihuahua is named Mad Dog, so don't be fooled by the name.
Is that true? Well, that's an ironic name, right?
It must be.
Yeah,
it's like calling a fat guy skinny because
right.
Mad Dog is the one who said, no, I don't waterboard these darling terrorists. I can get more by giving them a cookie.
Is that what he said?
Yes!
Oh, wow.
And his big thing was teaching his troops about Arab culture.
Oh, wait, so you don't like this guy?
No, everybody's fooled by his nickname. Look at what he's done and said. And, I don't really care about anything, and neither should Donald Trump except immigration, because you run this exact same election, everything identical 4 years from now. Even if we did not admit one more immigrant, just the immigrants we've already brought in, turning 18 and being eligible to vote, Trump loses, Hillary wins. Yeah. Unless he gets serious about this, the country is just as over as if we had elected Hillary or Jeb. And the only thing I care about the Department of Defense for as well, I think we're kind of done with nation building. We've done quite enough for the Middle East. This election was about America saying we want a little me time. Can we concentrate on America?
Right.
And what the Department of Defense, it's his job to build a wall. No. Trump doesn't need any more money, any bill. He doesn't need Congress to build a wall. It is the commander-in-chief's job to defend the borders, and even the most extravagant estimates of what a fence or wall would cost at the border is like 5% of the Department of Defense's budget. But this, Chihuahua, PMS Mad Dog, is he going to do it? I mean, you have to have people who are going to carry out your will and know how to do it. Trump can't be every place at all times.
Well, that's what I love about you. You're very unpredictable. I would have thought you would have loved him. And clearly, and you know what? The ironic nickname, we got it. Those are red flags. Like, we should have had a red flag in '92. Bill Clinton's nickname in high school was Bill No Fat Chick Clinton. Fucking did a 180 on that. How many wet T-shirt contests did he have to cancel in Westchester when she lost? I hear he's out of control still. Like there's a special hose that he picks up and he wets them down. I mean, honestly. And one of them is Tip O'Neill. There for a reference. So you're happy. What is your relationship now with Trump? Because you were out of the news for a while, and I was saying I hope nothing happened.
No, I'm always out of the news. Anyone who's capable of defending Trump in a persuasive way is banned from television. If you can defend him without being without the risk of persuading anyone,
Right.
then you will be very welcome on TV. So I've been doing all sorts of foreign TV. They don't know they're supposed to blacklist me. So election night, I was all over Good Morning Britain and BBC all night.
Really?
Irish TV, New Zealand TV, German TV. Luckily, word hasn't gotten across the ocean. No, don't put her on. She supports Trump and might persuade someone.
What's German TV like? No Jew showrunners. That limits them. No to the Seinfeld.
No, these days German TV is hosted by Muslims.
That's right. It makes sense. I tell you, I went over there. I shot a movie in Cologne, Germany, and my God, I tell you that it's still. I don't know. I think there's still something up over there. they don't seem friendly towards Americanos that might be named Schwartz. To tell you the truth, they're very, very. I don't know. Do you find that in Germany?
I mean, it's hard to say since my name isn't Schwartz, but I got the opposite sense. I was in Berlin on Reunification Day, and there was one group of Germans I met, the sort of fancy ones who had gone to London School of Economics.
Right.
And they were just as liberal could be. They weren't even, their parents hadn't been born yet. And they're still guilty over World War II and feel like they have to give up their whole culture. And then I had to get coffee that day. Everything was closed, and the only place that was open was a biker bar. So I met some nice German bikers.
Yeah.
And we went to some beer gardens together, and unfortunately they didn't speak English, so it was mostly sign language. But they just wanted to be, one country again. They kept saying it's like being separated from your family. They were so happy the wall was coming down. Whereas the London School of Economics Germans, who knows? Germans are what could happen?
Oh, I know. They're the ones who do the naked somersaults, right?
Yeah.
It's very. Yeah, I agree. There's a weird sort of tug of war there between what to think, but I tell you what, very, very clean yellow eggs. The eggs were so yellow. They said because they don't put.
The Krauts are very tidy.
Yeah, they are. They really are, and I enjoyed that. The hooker I banged vacuum. This place is a mess. The kefir, the last hooker was a kefir. A kefir. Very racist. But I don't know. So who do you like? You hate Mad Dog.
Well, I love Sessions, but I thought that was just the beginning of great things. Senator Sessions, he's been one of the few who has had to, he helped Donald Trump a lot with his immigration position, but he's been a lone voice for sanity on this. I'm sort of sorry they're taking him out of the Senate. He's going to be Attorney General, and he'll be great there, but he can't do everything himself. The Secretary of State, whomever it is, that's the guy who enforces, it's up to the commander-in-chief, any restriction on Muslims coming in. It's 100% the prerogative of the president, contrary to everything you've heard in the media. In fact, it's written into law. President may refuse to admit any class of aliens that he determines are detrimental to the United States. Any class of aliens.
Right, that's a good law.
That's written into the law.
Right.
All he has to do is, call up Secretary Romney, hey, I think maybe we need to slow down on the Muslim immigration. That's all he needs to do, but it is the Secretary of State who has to implement it. It's also the Secretary of State, how Trump kept saying, and this is absolutely true, and it's a huge problem, and I'm so glad Trump raised it. Countries send their criminals to us, they get convicted of crimes, we try to deport them, and the home country says, nope, we're leaving the rapist with you. Well, any country that does that, the Secretary of State's job, and it also is written into law, is to say, fine, no more visas will be issued to any of your countrymen.
Oh, that's
so there are things the Secretary of State has to do, but mostly it's Homeland Security, and I want Chris Koh back at Homeland Security, and I don't understand why that appointment wasn't announced 5 minutes after Trump's victory speech.
Well, first of all, how about making an Asian broad in charge of cars? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, come on. Why not make Chris Christie the head of physical fitness? That Asian broad is a transportation. Google wants to come out with driverless cars. There have been driverless cars for years. It's called 80-year-old Asian women. That's a driverless car. That's what Google's developing. What is this? Where does she come out of nowhere with transportation? What's she been doing?
Well, contrary to what I describe in my smash best-selling book, In Trump We Trust, He does seem to be really into having a diverse cabinet. And I'm not against diversity. I'm against anybody caring about diversity. I think we ought to be getting the best person for the job.
Right.
And, sometimes that's going to be a handicapped lesbian, and sometimes it's going to be a cabinet of all white men. And my sense with Trump was he really did not care about that. And he would put the best person in the job, for the job, in the job, no matter what that person was. But wow, it's looking awfully suspicious. And also the way his transition team people keep tweeting about, look at all the women he's appointing.
I know.
Oh no, please don't care about that. Please,
I
Trump.
know. Yeah, but he's starting to look like his cabinet started to look like a politically correct Coors Light commercial. Like, hanging out together. You got the Asian chick, and you got Mad Dog. I don't know. I agree with you. You see an Asian woman and you go the other way. I mean,
It did not occur to me that she's in charge of.
She's a
brilliant point.
She's in charge of making a K-turn. By the way, do you ever? I was in Japan once and I was late because it took my cab driver 4 hours to make a K-turn. Think about it. That's a Jim Downey would love that joke. So I noticed you said without fat girls, there's no protest. That's unbelievably great. Yeah, you don't see
a lot. It's something I've noticed forever. Haven't you just noticed that on your own?
Yes, you don't see a lot of young Naomi Campbells protesting.
Right. I mean, you also need, and what you also see in these protests, you'll get your portion of just standard criminals. They don't even know what they're protesting. They see mayhem and an opportunity to burn crap.
Yeah.
So you'll get them. You'll get some of the skinny little social justice warriors from NYU. But there are always a good helping of fat chicks.
Well, listen, my face was red the whole time. I saw, people were giving them shit about saying for burning a flag, you get a year in jail. And I said, look, he's being soft. I would give at least double that. And then I said, oh, wait, you said flag. I was like, whoa. Boy, you know what? My face was right here. I'm sorry.
See, we need you as a speechwriter. Then I'll trust him.
Of course. No, on the Stern Show, we used to have this guy who was actually in the Klan. He was a real Klan guy. He was from Georgia.
Oh, you found the last one in America.
Yeah, he was from Georgia. From Georgia, of course. And he said something out loud, dead serious. He goes, Howard, someday the Mexicans are going to outnumber the humans. I mean, the guy talked to bumper stickers. You'd be surprised what's out there. I think Romney, I guess he's a bright guy, with Bain Capital and stuff. He seems dumb. It really is funny, though, the severity of what he said about Trump. Like, I mean, to see them at that dinner and then you just cut to, Donald Trump is a fraud.
Yes.
Donald Trump is a racist. I mean, every bad thing.
No, it was personal. It was awful. He fell in with a bad crowd. How many mornings do politicians need? How many examples do they need? Just hang on my every word. Always trust Coulter. You'll be fine. But he didn't.
You're right. You're right about that. I trust you now.
Thank you.
It's hard to get you on the phone to get advice, but geez. Listen. I think you are someone who is smart and you stand your ground and you're entertaining. It's great. Have you talked to your friend Bill Maher? Because he was having a meltdown on the election. He was having a meltdown. You would think that someone set his parents on fire. I mean, what? Well,
I haven't seen, but I've just noticed this among lefties generally, and I think the fun, short, and important book right now is In Trump We Trust.
Right.
But I must say, the way liberals are behaving right now, it is all explained in my book Demonic about groupthink and mobs. Right. Because this is absolutely irrational. If you can get a liberal isolated, break them off from the herd and the crowd yelling that Donald Trump white supremacist.
Right.
There's nothing frightening about Trump. If anything, it should be people like me, evangelical conservatives who are worried about this guy. He's been married 3 times. He lives with a model on Fifth Avenue.
Right.
I don't think you have to worry about him creating a theocracy in America.
Yeah.
His big issue, he's not creepy like Ted Cruz. His big issue isn't gay marriage or abortion. What he wants to do is bring jobs back and deport criminals and terrorists.
Yeah.
Those are the big issues, and you're upset about that?
I know, and these liberal actresses in Hollywood, name me one guy who was polite enough to buy them furniture before grabbing their pussy. I don't remember one of them. You think Brad Pitt bought Jennifer Aniston an ottoman?
Poor Trump.
I mean, come on. And I love how these guys, Jake Tapper on CNN, what locker room is he in? How about everyone I've ever been in?
Yeah.
Where did you play sports? Every locker. That's tame. That is tame for what people say.
No, I know. Particularly, I mean, I must say, I was out in L.A. when that story broke, and I happened to be stopping by the Breitbart offices that day. And we walked in, and the head of the office out there said, "So is it over?" And I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" And he said, "Trump's on tape talking about grabbing pussy."
Right.
And so we sat there and watched the networks playing it over and over and over again. And he told me that when he saw my face fall, because I didn't say anything, but when he saw the expression on my face when he told me that, he said, "It's over." But by the next day, I was giving a speech in Bakersfield. I was totally fine with it because I realized the media totally overplayed their hand. There are all these fainting Victorian virgins when you see what they put on in prime time.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. The hypocrisy is insane. Graham and Billy Bush sitting there like a lapdog, one of the Bush, just so happy a guy's hanging out with him. It's like the Rob Kardashian of the Bushes. And he gets. I love how he gets fired. Isn't it great? That's what these pussies don't understand. These sycophants. He does a mea culpa. I love it. Billy Bush. There's 2 guys on that tape, supposed guys. 2 guys, and I want every young boy to hear this. Every 12-year-old who's getting raised by some wuss, ready to ask if Aerosmith can play their fucking bar mitzvah. Listen to this. 2 guys are on that tape. One of them did a pussy-ass, lame apology, almost crying.
Yeah.
The other one didn't. One of them got fired. The other one is president of the United States. Okay? One is in exile at Kennebunkport, trying to get someone to fuck him, crying, and he'll never be. And the other one is fucking painting the Lincoln Room the color he likes. That's it,
really
baby.
Wonderful point.
Yeah. Two guys were in that. One said no. Yeah. I'll still say it in the locker room. I'll grab your pussy.
Trump has to remember this. He's not going to get any credit for making these diverse appointments.
Right.
He's never going to get the New York Times to like him. I may write about this next week because it did send a chill through my spine. A couple of weeks ago, my friend at the New York Times, who actually is a great food critic and covered Bush, Frank Bruni, wrote a piece about that meeting the New York Times had with Trump, and he began by saying, I think the title was something like Trump's Need for Love. And he talks about how Trump came into the room, said hello to Frank, took another couple steps, and then wheeled around and said, "I haven't liked the things you've been writing about me, but you're going to see. You're going to love me.
Right.
You're going to love me." And I just looked at that and thought, no, Mr. President-elect. It's unfortunate it has to be this way, but 2 things cannot coexist. The New York Times ever writing something fair, much less positive about you, and you making America great again.
Yeah.
Those 2 things cannot both happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's another great point. That's why when something like this happens, there are a lot of great points. And I only get a few of them. You get like thousands. You pick up. Again, that's brilliant stuff. And something else that was great about it, in all seriousness, my mother loves Trump. My mother is an Italian woman, not didn't go to college, and I'm a guinea from blue collar Jersey, and I didn't go to college. I guess What do they teach you? What do you teach you about Trump in college that I miss? What is there a special course when you go to college where you go, hey, look, he is Hitler. We have proof. What's the difference about college? But today when he announced the carrier thing, okay, and he's talking.
Yeah.
What I love about what he does is he does a great thing a comic does is he brings a guy who everybody in the crowd knows into it, and he starts talking about the head of carrier or whatever, and he's looking right at him. And he goes, you know what? I said, this is the coolest thing ever. He goes, you can't move to Mexico. And the guy goes, well, the plant is built there. He goes, I don't care. I don't care if it's built already. And he goes, what do you want me to do with it? I go, sell it, rent it. I don't care. He goes, believe me, the Mexicans will do fine. And then he goes, I don't know if they'll do fine with an American company. And then he winks at the guy.
Yes.
He winks at the guy like we made this like and giggling. That's exactly something my old man would have done. And that is what these guys love about him. He made a deal. I don't care. We're not going down there. Sell it to somebody else. We're keeping the jobs here. It's it's just brilliant. He's a brilliant marketer.
Yes.
And I think
he just better follow through because the speeches alone aren't going to carry him.
Well,
if he doesn't get immigration under control and we get another gay nightclub shot up by a Muslim or another Kate Steinle killed on the San Francisco Pier and we're 2 or 3 years into his administration,
right,
we'll just get the stink of a lying politician.
Well, that's another good point. I mean, he again, I think he should focus on a lot of high-profile shit to get goodwill. Like this was a high-profile thing. He should make a hard right turn up to Flint, Michigan right now. I don't care if his kids have to have buckets of clean water. I don't care if Eric Trump is bucketing in clean water himself.
Yeah,
they should have clean water. And personally, I bought a water park in Flint, Michigan 2 years ago, and it is the worst. It is the worst public. I'm screaming at these kids. A little lead, big deal. It's a log flume. He's got to fix Flint. Flint. Now that's another high-profile thing.
I agree.
He'll get enough juice to do everything you're saying. He'll get goodwill. People will want to help him.
Yeah.
And get these things through. And we'll see what happens.
No, Flint would be great. And in his speech last night, I did love how he said how the African Americans were great to him, and he's going to take care of them. No, it's good. I mean, everything about him seems good other than his cabinet appointments.
I know. Listen, well, if you found out one person was a secret Bond villain, him or Hillary Clinton, it's definitely Hillary. I think she's done way more evil stuff. And, the people, I mean, he was screwing over plumbing contractors. I used to work construction, and all you got to do is to introduce Ted Cruz to a plumbing contractor, you go, oh my God, I want to rip him off. She's screwing over the Benghazi families. He's screwing over some Greek guy out of PVC piping. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
It doesn't matter. I think he's going to be great. Who do you think is the boob of the family? Who's the Ted Kennedy? Eric Trump, right? It's clearly Eric.
Oh, that's very funny.
It's Eric.
Let's see.
I mean, he seems... Donald Trump...
Well, I guess I don't have one. I like them. I don't want any of them involved in the administration. It looks like a Vita Perone. Or remember when Bill Clinton came in, 2 for the price of 1? No. You don't bring your family with you. So I think they're lovely, but the problem... This is the problem with how dishonest the press has been. There is an issue. It's not Donald Trump's fault, but there is an issue with the conflict of interest with his businesses.
Right.
He cannot hire his kids. But unfortunately, the only people who are saying that are the same ones who spent most of the last year complaining about Donald Trump's fat shaming.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. There's so many things that contradict each other. And I agree that he's got his hand in a lot of businesses. He knows every CEO on the planet. It's going to be hard to not... It's going to be hard.
And to dispose of it, I mean, it isn't like stock. He is right about this. It's hard to dispose. You can't just sell off all your real estate at once. But, I mean, at least in the last week, I think he is acknowledging now this is an issue and he has to do something. And, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just don't pretend like this is just some BS attack from the New York Times, which the way they write about it and the way you hear it on TV, you would think it is. It may not be perfect, but he's got to come up with some way to separate himself from his business interests, and he can't be bringing his kids into the administration. As lovely as they are, that's not what we do in a democracy.
Right. And, I mean, do you think his kids ever made one important decision? I mean, there's some guy who looks like, my fat, uglier uncle making those decisions, and Ivanka's just a pretty face. You think Ivanka ever was asked about the sheetrock length in a bathroom? I don't think so. My great friend, the great David Tell, had an awesome line the other night talking about Trump, about he likes the businesses too much. He enjoys being involved a little bit. Not maybe his hands on it he was, but he said, I picture him talking to Putin, and I know where he goes, wait, I got to take this. Wait a minute. The Hilton, our Hilton property in Tampa is out of towels.
Yeah.
It's like no more croutons at the room service in Indianapolis. Let me get on this.
Yes, that's an issue. Now, if he appoints, Chris Kobach at Homeland, he can do that. He can just worry about his hotels. But the way the appointments are going, he's going to have to be overseeing every little thing, and it's still not going to get done.
What about Ben Carson? He's just a affirmative action too, right? You think so?
No, I mean he is brilliant. Trump did kind of nail him during the primary. He is not high energy,
right?
But you don't need high energy. And I heard him talked about for HUD, Housing Administration, and he actually has been very good on that. I mean, he's anti-welfare. He's
right.
anti-Section 8. He is a brain surgeon.
Well, I mean, again,
he's not a dumb man, and they'll give you another black candidate I really want, and it's not because he's a black candidate. In fact, I've been a fan of his for years. Never realized he was an African American because his name is Peter Kirsanow. He's half a Ruski, half African American.
Really?
And he went to Cornell. He played football at Cornell. He's a big guy. Black guys will look at Peter Kirsanow and say he's cool because he is cool, and he was civil rights. I think the commission chairman under Bush. He's a great economist, great writer. He'd love to be at like Labor or you get your diversity and without any compromise whatsoever. Why hasn't Peter Kirsanow been put anyplace yet?
Right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, you can make him the head of Labor.
And I think he'd actually like it.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I never heard of guys Russian and black. I mean, I never saw a black guy rushing anywhere.
Oh.
Listen, you're on with a silly comedian, not the Secretary of State, right?
No, I know you prepared for this show by watching, what is it, My 600-Pound Life?
I got to tell you something. It is the best show. And I feel like Brad fucking Pitt after I watch this show. I feel like such a winner. I am such a winner. The next time I'm able to finagle a hot chick to live with me here, I am going to make her watch that on a loop. And just go, if she threatens to leave, I'm going to go, okay, go ahead, look what could be out there for you. And you'll be begging me, can I come back to your 270-pound life? These are people, the ripples. These are people I can't even tell you. There's a woman named Lupetto, and this guy Gilbert, she met on the internet, and I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. I don't know if he thinks there's money hidden in her ass folds, or I don't know what if there's a pot of gold somewhere. But he takes care of her. He hoses her down, and it's on. It really is. That noise you just made, you'll make it 1,000,000 times. It is unreal.
Well, I know some emergency room surgeons, and the stories they have told me about all sorts of things, but the fat stories. There was one woman who came in for abdominal pains, and she was enormous, probably 600 pounds. So they literally have to get, they have to lie her down on 2 beds. Yeah. They have to use a broomstick to get the stomach up. And guess what the abdominal pain is? When they're getting ready to, go in, find out, put on their diving gear. She
sat on a midget.
The television remote control was caught in the sides of her platform, and she was so excited to find it again. She said, "Oh, that's where it was."
And what if first of all, there's that, and she called 15 repairmen. Can't understand why the channels keep moving. And they can't figure it out. You call 2 of her friends lost a cell phone. They call the number and she's ringing. She's ringing all night, and that's amazing. How about if she went through the technologies? They never found that the remote gets smaller and smaller.
But at this point, I mean, who knows how this happens? But there are surgeries to take care of this, and it's not healthy to live like that.
They have to be in charge. Listen, I'm an expert on it now. They have to be healthy enough for the surgery. That's why they have to get to 600 pounds. And here's the thing. Did you hear that they lifted up Roger Ailes' stomach and they found Greta Van Susteren? She wasn't looking good. She had found a food source. She kept nibbling away at his... She nibbled away at his skin, and she created a nipple, and she found some protein.
Oh, this is so horrible.
She found some protein under my horse and pepper. Where's my horse and pepper? Bring me Greta Van Susteren. Bring me Megyn Kelly's book. I want to eat Megyn Kelly's book and tell that whore that's underneath my gut that she can't have another source of protein. She created a nipple with Megyn Kelly. I never grabbed her at all. Roger, where's my horse and pepper? Bring me the head of Jake Tapper. I love it. But no, this is what happens. This guy Gilbert had the greatest comeback in the history of relationships. When you argue, all he kept saying is, "You're 600 pounds." That was the guy, and he wins every argument. She would go, "You're cheating on me. You're 600 pounds."
Well, that's good, but the problem is you have to have a partner who's 600 pounds to use it.
Well, that's what he did.
The downside.
The brilliant part about Gilbert is he took care of that first. That's right. He found the 600 pounds. It's hard to add it after. And it's so these people are they're in a living hell, and sometimes their kids are involved. They have to float them into a minivan. He's got to do that about obesity too. What about that? Obesicare is what it should be called, because that's all they're on, right? They're living off of us.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
true. But at least I don't mind obese Americans living off us. I just don't want foreigners living off us.
I agree. It's what color the fat skin folds are. I get it.
No, it is not color. I don't want Russian immigrants living off us either.
Say no more. Say no more. You're putting out a dog whistle. That was the other one, Ann. That was the other one. All these, they don't even know what it means. They're saying dog whistle.
Yes, that's another new one.
Right. Trump's putting out a dog whistle to David Duke. Shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, meanwhile, the New York Times is running headlines denouncing white Christians.
I know.
So they can openly attack us, but the closest they can get to us doing something as well, it's undetectable to the naked eye.
Well, people forget. People forget that the New York Times, is just, different human beings are writing it. It's not always the class that it was. It's like, they moving on to a different group of people that happen to be gutter snipes. That's what the paper's going to be. I mean, but listen, name one newspaper, or how many issues of the New York Times front page in the last 2 years has not had the name Trump on it. I mean, he's a phenomenon on levels you can't imagine.
That's a good point.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
You ever been to that Bedminster facility, by the way?
Been to what?
The Bedminster golf facility?
No, I have not.
I've been there.
With your pal Donald. Is that where you went with your pal Donald Trump?
That's right. My pal. We golfed 9 holes. Eli Manning was there. And I don't know if Trump is racist, but I did have this conversation. He famously kicked O.J. Simpson out of his club. And he goes, "I don't want his kind here." And I said, "Wow, that's great, murderers." And he goes, "He murdered somebody?" And with that, I will say, we're just going to end it you laughing at every racist thing I say. Someday the Mexicans are going to outnumber the humans. We'll say, right. Buy my book. And I love you. I can't say it enough. You got a great sense of humor. You're smart. They should make you just secretary of everything.
I know. Well, that would work, but I don't want a job.
Well, and also you don't want. Yeah, good for you, right? Me and you have the good job. My book's coming out Father's Day, by the way. My 3rd book could be 3rd bestseller in a row.
Oh, that's great. What's the name of it?
I don't know.
You haven't picked it yet?
Well, the kid who writes it always chooses the name. But yes. No, it's about my gambling issue, so I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. Already, Simon Schuster said they don't want the N-word in the title.
Well, I'm glad that came up.
Well, it was guns don't kill people. Triggers kill people.
Oh, you're unbelievable.
No, but the book's coming out, and I would love to. Well, me and you figured out we'd love to leave the house. We could be agoraphobic and still make a lot of money. And,
yeah.
How about this? I'm watching TV. I just put the TV back on because we're winding down here, and I saw a promo for Heather Locklear's new show, her brand new show. Mm-hmm. And he should make Heather Locklear a secretary of What the Fuck Happened. Holy shit, this woman. She went crazy. You know why? Because no one pays attention to her stupid stories anymore. She looks like Carol Channing.
Really? That pretty Heather Locklear?
Yeah, she went. You know, too much partying. You know, too much of Tommy Lee going. No, this has the good stuff in it. You know, and you know, your neighbors drown a few kids in your backyard, and you get stressed.
Well, I think she's a lovely girl, but on the other hand, I love when gorgeous women are no longer gorgeous. So I'm going to have to tune in and see
you're
it.
right. You're right. I'm telling you, people like Paris Hilton, they're going to stick around a little too long, and they're going to get cornered by me at a party in about 20 years. And that's it. I'm going to make them pay for everything they've done.
I didn't even think Heather's done anything. She's a nice girl,
you
right?
got to Google Heather Locklear / what the fuck happened.
Okay.
She lost. She's heavy set. Yeah.
I can imagine that.
She looks like the lead singer of Motley Crue after the bloated. But you know, listen, her in her prime.
I know.
Right? And Dan, what about Tommy Lee in his prime, right? I'm sorry.
I also like anyone out of Hollywood who doesn't take a stand on politics, unless they take a stand like Roseanne Barr.
What does she do?
Oh my gosh, she's been a total Trumpster for the past year.
Oh, she has? I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, I love her.
You know what? I can just see liberal Hollywood going, first she grabs her crotch during the stars back about her, now this.
But I will say, comedians have always told me, and I hadn't ever seen her show, so I didn't know, but I've always heard that she is actually funny, and comedians respect her.
Well, she's got the delivery like no one else in history.
Yeah.
And, she represents all that was America back then. She hit big real quick. That show was an instant hit. And she was famous for just kicking every Hollywood executive off the set. It was so funny. She was everyone's hero. It was an overnight smash hit, and she walked up the next day to every executive and said, "Listen, if I ever see you here again, I'm going to go to ABC." Yeah, she is. Everyone liked her a lot.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm happy for you. And I'm happy for your people. I have to leave. I have some blood work that came back, and I'm not going to be with you for that much longer. Tell Jim Downey I say goodbye.
I will. I'll tell him that. I'll tell him you're lost watching my 600-pound life, and we'll never see you again.
Listen, me, you, and Jim Downey with a bottle of wine. Well, you'll drink. You're on that dead end street still, but you guys drink. And we'll watch. We'll do a marathon of 600-pound life. We will literally. We'll have heart attacks laughing. We'll have heart attacks laughing. I can't imagine this Lupetto woman. You have to see Lupetto and her 600-pound life.
Okay, well.
When's the last time you talked to Downey?
Right before I called you.
Really? Tell that guy now he's avoiding me. It's unbelievable.
No, I know. Well, he's an agoraphobe, so.
Yeah, but so am I. So that's why there's phones.
I know. Maybe we can just all watch together. We sometimes do this. We watch the same shows, but on the telephone together.
How great would that
That's
be?
how agoraphobes.
Yeah, I know. That's unbelievable. That's why you guys have phone sex and you get an ear infection with him. Be careful. And his son Walker, tell him I'll stay away from Walker. He's got to be in Harvard already, that kid. I knew that kid was a
MIT, I think.
MIT. See? My God. Wow. I knew it. What a smart family. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll try. Honestly, I would love to do that one. I would love to get together and have dinner or something with all three of us, or hang out.
I'm going to suggest it, but with all of us being agoraphobes, it's going to be hard. But I'm going to push for this.
Well, you don't want to. You don't like the optics of me and you, right?
No, it's fantastic.
I mean, if somebody gets a picture of that, you're not getting another book deal.
The optics.
Yeah, the optics.
That's my thing, the optics.
Right. I don't. First of all, if we get together, the optics are going to be bad if you're going to continue with your rhetoric. All right. So don't send out.
Okay, we'll finish that on the other side.
Right. And on the other side, don't send out a dog whistle. All right.
Okay, good to talk to you, Artie.
By the way, if you send out a dog whistle, those protesters will show up.
That's right.
And I love you. And congrats.
Love you. Talk to you soon.
Keep being smart. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The great Aunt Coulter. She is the best. But who's better than her? That's just a great broad.
She's such a trooper. And,
I know. Yeah.
She says crazy things, but then who doesn't?
Well, what is that backhanded compliment?
No,
Then who doesn't? Very eloquent.
We all say crazy things. If you
That was a liberal bumper sticker.
no.
We all say crazy things, but then again, who doesn't?
I noticed. Yeah,
That's up there. That's up there with you going. That's up there with somebody going. I hate what you say, but I defend to the death your right to say it.
I noticed that she spent some time in a German beer house, much like me.
Did she say Stein? No.
Oh, she was close.
No, she was close because she's too manly for him. Stein. But yeah, I'd say what you want about Dan Filato. He's Radio Gold. Radio Gold. He said Giant Stein sitting next to Johnny Stein. You're 600 pounds. Look at this chick's twat. It hangs down. They're just weighing her twat right now. And her twat stopped losing weight. But the doctor's like, listen, you're hanging low. The pussy lips. Your pussy lips are making me crazy. I have them in my nightmares. Do you understand? I wake up crying. Oh. And my wife goes, Are you thinking of her pussy lips again? Penny's pussy lips? And I say, you don't have permission to speak, bitch. Well, all women need permission to speak.
You're on Lupo's Twitter now. You are connected.
Am I on her shitter? That's what she's on. Follow me on shitter. I bet you Gilbert doesn't follow her. I get enough of this bitch. I don't need to follow her. What am I going to get, Instagram?
You know there's no guys on there saying you're hot, baby.
By the way, Instagram, she joined that thinking it was instant ham. Yo, where's my ham? Yo, Gilbert, what? You told me you were hooking him up to instant ham. My instant ham's taking forever. What instant ham? What are you talking about? You signed me up to instant ham. Oh no, that's Instagram. What? Instagram? You mean I'm not getting a ham? There's pictures of ham on here. Those are your arms. Oh. She starts eating her arm.
Oh, God.
Gilbert, put mustard on my arms. Oh. She thought it was instant ham. Why is John Ham on here? Yo, look, they're saying Grace, the fat family. Please give us this food. There's 14 deviled eggs in front of her.
Oh, my God.
And then out of nowhere, she goes, I can't live without a chulapa. Look at how she's sitting there. Come over here. She's sitting like someone. Come here. Look at the ham.
I can see it. Oh, my God. Look at that.
Ham and corn. She eats everything with her fingers.
But she was sitting like she was meditating.
Look at this guy. Yeah, she's sitting in Indian style. Like an entire teepee, see? And she's holding her feet.
Oh.
Well, could you imagine that's your mother? She's licking her fingers. She's got oxygen. She's sitting in her shit bed. Like she's shitting and eating. She's like a food chipper. Honey, could you shove the 6-foot sub into mommy's mouth? And the husband in this one, this is Penny, by the way. This is Lupo. The husband has that neck fat on the back of his neck that usually blacks have, but he's very white. And she took her oxygen out. It's got all boogers on it.
Oh, God.
Oh, and now she's eating it. Oh my God! Now the boogers went into like the ham. And she's got a kid with those those reading glasses on. What the fuck is he? I mean, he looks like he's looking through an aquarium. What was that from? Oh, that's D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley in Original Kings of Comedy. He's looking at a guy in the front row. Damn, man, he looks like he's looking through an aquarium. I just watched that. You know, I can't believe the great Chicago's own Bernie. What's his name? I forget already. Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. Chicago's own Bernie Mac, right?
Yep.
Funny motherfucker.
He was a DJ before a comedian.
Yeah, well, funny motherfucker.
Yep.
Man. Absolutely.
Oh, just in some of the movie roles he had.
Well, I'm talking about that first stand-up. Yeah. Talk about politically incorrect. Man, this motherfucker got 3 kids. 3 sons. 2, 4, and 6. And that 4-year-old, he a little homosexual. He come down and say, "Can I have some cookies?" You a little faggot. And that's why the blacks get away with that, because, it's that subtle racism. I go, why can't I say little fat? Because you're a white person. You should know better. Do you realize that's exactly what white companies are saying? When a black guy gets away with that, they're being racist. Now, I don't care. Take their money, guys. Take their fucking... I talked to Chappelle. Chappelle had the same thing. He could talk about whatever he wanted, but, including some gay issues. And you get endorsements. But Snoop Dogg was very open about it. I mean, he was, a brilliant guy, real talented guy. But he would say, he told us on the air, on the biggest radio show ever, and it didn't seem tongue-in-cheek, that he still pimped out 13 women that he kept in the garage, and when they got out of line, he hit them in the head with sneakers.
Wow.
Would beat women with a sneaker. And he never said he was kidding. And the next day, he's like all over Reebok.
I think he's doing a Pepsi commercial now.
Exactly. Beating women with sneakers. Beating women with sneakers if they do them wrong or hold out on them for money after they fuck a guy. Do you know what that is? It's just, you ruin a person's life. You ruin their lives. And I think that's the cause I should champion. What is the cause I was talking about?
What?
I should champion a cause.
Oh.
What were we just talking about? Pick a charity. What do you like? What do you like? Offending jaywalkers? What would be your one charity if you were generous? If you could give to one charity.
Man, that's
Elizabeth Warren's campaign?
No, probably. Well, I do give to the vets.
No,
I do.
you don't.
Yeah, I do. Not
All the lies.
Not the Bob Levy charity, but I give to.
What's a lie today? Every celebrity you bring up, it's like there's something there. And he baits you. He yells it out, and he gets so disappointed if you don't acknowledge. Like you say something like, it could be anybody. You go, Eddie Albert. First of all, of course, when I saw him that day, and he makes it like he told you the story already, and you gotta go. You start thinking you're wrong. Like, what do you mean when you saw him that day? You didn't tell me an Eddie Albert story. Well, of course, I know Eddie Albert. How? And it's always Mark Grace. Well, Mark, you wanted to be a hitter.
Michael Jordan. It was Michael Jordan.
Yeah. No, that I believe. I do. But, okay, to a certain extent, I believe the story. Here's Dan's story. You got ready? Here we go. I love this. This is a classic Filato. Somehow I say Jordan's name for whatever reason. And he goes, well, he is that, and I know him that time. What? Well, that time. And then I let stew for a little while. And then I said, okay, what? I said, no, I promise I'll ask later. I don't have the head right now. And he goes, well, he, what is the story?
We were talking about his gambling, right?
Right.
And he was very, how did it come up? I don't remember how it came up.
Because it's a lie.
It's not a lie.
No, Dan, you remember the truth. It's easy to remember the truth.
How did it come up between you and I? What were we talking about?
What does it matter?
I went down to Puerto Rico. I ran into Michael.
Right.
He asked me out to dinner.
I remember
the
facts of the story, so you better get it right.
He asked us out to dinner, and and then they went to a private island, and he said, "Do you want to go?" And I said, "Sure."
What happened in between?
Of the dinner?
No, there's a reason. Okay, well, I'll give you this. Yeah. Well, something sort of right. The premise is,
but
okay, the premise is that you, that Michael Jordan called you, and was essentially begging you to come out, and you said no. Is that what you're saying?
That is the truth.
Okay. That is the biggest bunch of horse shit.
Okay.
Maybe you know him. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it's like the speed bullshit thing I do. I'm going to say, here's the extent of it. One time, WGN got good enough seats to where you got hit with that powder he claps. Okay?
The talcum powder?
Yeah. That's what the story actually is. You turned that into you and him in San Juan and him begging you to go to dinner. Why would Michael Jordan, with all due respect, Dan, because I'd say the same thing about me, why would Michael Jordan give two fat, flying fucking frogs' asses about whether or not you go to dinner with him? Why would he care?
He asked me out to dinner. He asked me and my girlfriend at the time out to dinner.
Do you think he got the vibe from you that he could fuck you?
Oh, God.
You know, I know you're not gay, but I have a gay. You give off a vibe because there have been gay friends of mine from show business who have said, "Hey, can you mention something to Dan?" And I said, "What? I will not. I will not. It's insulting." I said, "How much?" Would you sleep with a guy to get good ratings for the show?
For the podcast?
Yeah. The parties. Dan, do you feel you're doing all you can?
I'm trying.
That's a lie. I never saw a guy take more time off in my life. There's
God.
no work ethic. He's never here. I'd ask him for socks today.
Oh, God.
You like the Rob Kardashian? Can we get any more updates about Mario? Here's my update. Mario missed the town of Hoboken. He's in Edgewater. How about this one?
5:12, he said, in Hoboken.
How about this one?
He was supposed to be here at
Yeah. How about this one, Dan?
4:15.
Tell him to text me. Mario Bosco is in the Hudson River.
I love you, Art. Hey, everyone. Artie went to go in search of Mario Bosco. We don't know what happened. So I think he went down to the train station to find out where Mario is. And that gave him a break from watching my 600-pound life for about 10 or 15 minutes. He went from my 600-pound life to my 60-pound pimple on our butts. But you can sponsor Mario Bosco if you want. Anyone who wants to sponsor his Uber, we will advertise whatever you want us to advertise for Mario Bosco. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. And as Artie always says, take care, brush your hair.